reflections on Paris. So I think first and foremost, the Games was a massive success. The Olympics has definitely got its mojo back. I didn't have strong expectations either way of the Games, but I think it felt very much like the Games we had in London. People were super engaged. France and Paris got very excited by everything that was happening, and I think the organising committee pulled a blinder and put the Olympics right back where it should be after a tough Games to deliver in Rio and a tough environment to deliver a Games in Tokyo, which was no one's fault. Paris has really put the Olympics back on the map. I think what was good and what was bad, I think the settings actually were spectacular. I can't think of a better set Games in terms of its use of the urban environment and the iconic landscapes and features of Paris. And obviously the Eiffel Tower was the ultimate star of everything. They did that brilliantly. That's a great long-term message for Paris, and it's a great staging environment for the Games, and it really looked spectacular. And not just on TV, but in person for those of us lucky enough to be there. From the point of view of digital, and I went to an event, but spent most of my time consuming the Games, like most of the rest of the world, through screens. I think this was the first truly end-to-end digital Games. So from all the back office, from cloud-based production to augmented and mediated video, through to ticketing, which was end-to-end digital. That's never happened before, arguably at this scale anywhere, and it was thoroughly successful. I think the IOC platforms worked flawlessly. The app was outstanding. And I think everybody, from athletes to the media to media rights holders to the IOC to the organising committee to the sponsors, really got their heads around how to make use of digital and digital platforms and to play to the Olympics' biggest strength, which is storytelling. So many stories to tell in such a short time, such a difficult thing to do. It's not a narrative that you can easily control, and there are so many different competing interests, but just so much competition for time. When you think the Olympics is a broadcast event, the OBS produced 11,000 hours, that's more than a year back to back without toilet breaks of consumption. So you need guidance and support. You need someone or an algorithm or a friend to highlight all the stuff that's worth seeing. And I think everyone involved did a great job in that. And I think that the IOC has really started to embrace not just the strategic importance of storytelling, but its commercial potential. I personally was excited by some of the new things that were being done with digital. Unlike some of your other correspondents, I had no problem with things like the victory selfie and some other sponsored digital and physical crossovers. I think they were additive. I don't think they diminished the Olympic brand at all. If I had any qualms or queries about the Games, I think, maybe in some of the presentation, I think that the stuff that was French high culture was on point and very well delivered. I think when it came to touching moments of sort of popular culture, whether it was the music or maybe some duff notes in the ceremonies or sports presentation, I think the Paris's command of those was maybe less sure, and that's something where you'd expect, looking forward, LA to be very strong in. I think a significant challenge for LA there will be lack of public transportation, logistics, and giving the right venues to all the sports, not just the ones that interest the American public, is going to be challenging. But I'm sure they'll up the commercial ante. I'm sure the overall presentation will be fantastic. And I think the challenge is to make thorough use of all the digital opportunities, which will be even more native by the time we get to the LA Games. But I'm definitely excited because the Olympics is back. When you think of the digital numbers, they were up there with the World Cup. Olympics is pound for pound, every bit as impactful, and arguably in a stronger position. They should be in a stronger position because there are frankly more stories to tell with 15,000 athletes rather than 800. and 800 well paid and often not massively interesting athletes compared to the huge diversity and the fantastic gender mix you have in, and an ethnic and cultural and truly global mix you get in the Olympics. So great platform to build on, very exciting games, felt all the feels we had in London plus more, and I think LA is something to look forward to, but let's not forget Milan Cortina in between.